even if I touch a meal. And do it through the pain, I don't need the pain. And life gon' get me down, but it won't break my will. Cause I've been chasing this so long, I can't give up. I won't give in, been through too much. I done prayed for the money, I done prayed for the fame. I done prayed that I will make a sacrifice and play this game. I done prayed that my life would never be the same. I done prayed that I will make it bring glory to my name.
Ladies and gentlemen, before we get started to this podcast is brought to you by Final Form Subs. Final Form Subs is a supplement brand for everybody. If you need a multivitamin, I got multivitamins here. You need a multivitamin. If you need creatine, protein powder, organic bars of soap, if you need lifting gear, gym bag, you name it. You need stuff for your hair, your skin, your nails, beauty, personal care, all that stuff, gains, whatever you need, Final Form Subs has it. Go to finalformsubs.com. That's SUPPS, finalformsubs.com. Use promo code COACHSTRIB, all caps, no space. Get 10% off your order on supplements and personal care. Enjoy the show. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of Uncle Strib. Today I have a special guest, one of one, the original, the one and only, Mr. Kendall Blanton.
Yo.
Kendall Blanton. So my brother from another mother, really close friend, since 2014. It's a decade, fam.
Man.
Decade.
Quick 10 years, though.
Yeah, very quick, very quick. So before we get started, just introduce yourself, where you're from, and kind of a snippet of what you're doing right now, but not too much. Not too much, just a little teaser.
All right. Kendall Blanton, like was previously alluded, from Kansas City, Missouri. So disregard the Bay Area, Yay area behind me, but shout out my dog, Anthony Hines. Yeah, man. So born and raised Kansas City, Missouri. Fast forward, we can skip all the high school and stuff, man. Went to college at Mizzou. And met a lot of my dogs, my lifelong friends. Like you talked about again 10 years ago, and played football there, graduated there, and then went on to play 4 years. I was undrafted free agent, played 4 years with the Rams, won a Super Bowl there. Made some plays, man, had fun out there, and then went to the Chiefs the following season, won a Super Bowl there. And now currently I'm a free agent and started a investment group, a real estate investment group with one of my high school friends, close high school friends. And that's where we're sitting at today, man. Hopefully Roger Goodell calls me though, man, in the middle of this podcast. So I can,
Hey, be breaking news.
Yeah.
So obviously, football and sports as a whole is a very pivotal thing in our relationship. And I always like to ask this: when did you know growing up that college, like D1 sports, because you're, people that don't know, Hooper, right? So did you have any type of interest in basketball? Was that a thing? Or were you football through and through?
I mean, basketball is my first love. I mean, that's kind of, even now that I sit and think about it, questionable to say, but I do say that basketball is my first love. But with that being said, I always knew that I was going to be in the NFL. Like even before I ever played football, it was kind of, my father played 8 seasons in the NFL and just so happened to be 7 with the Chiefs, and one with who was drafted to the Buffalo Bills and then played 7 years with the Chiefs. So it was kind of just a lifelong mission to follow in his footsteps in that way, and get there and play there. And I have goals still that I'm chasing in that aspect. But to answer your question, man, just really, I've always kind of felt that. Even playing basketball, I didn't start playing football until my freshman year in high school. But like I said, I remember vividly in middle school, typing class, Miss Corder, shout out Miss Corder, her husband ended up being one of our coaches at Blue Springs South for the football team. But anyways, in typing class, Miss Corder, she asked us all what we wanted to be, and it came around to me and told her that I'm going to be an NFL football player. I remember like her and you know a few other people kind of laughing, not in a bad way or anything, but laughing at that. She told her husband about it, and he came. I remember he came to the class and asked me, and I told him, "Yeah, I'm gonna be an NFL football player one day." And I believe I was in seventh grade when that happened, and like I said, I didn't start playing football until my freshman year. So always, man.
A feeling, a feeling. And then, so why Missouri?
Uh, well, the process of all of that was crazy. I had a few friends in high school that I believe were very elite. One played linebacker and Josh Watson. I believe he led the state in tackles. I might be misquoted, but I believe he had 181 or 180 in that ballpark solo tackles our senior year in high school. So him and then another guy I know you met before, but Brandon Dandridge, be Dandy, who's playing currently in Canada right now, the best corner in the CFL. Us three kind of was like, man, we all wanted to go to the same place, and unfortunately, some things happened. It didn't work out like that. It came down to being in the SEC, and Mizzou had just, I think, the year before I committed. No, actually, I take that back. I committed the year before they went into the SEC, but I committed my sophomore year in high school to Mizzou, just with the intentionality of being in the SEC, also being able to stay home, and you know, my mom can come to all those games and see that. There were a few other colleges that I wanted, like Florida and Kentucky was up there in my top just rotations of like, hey, where do I want to go and where do I see myself going? But end of the day, it just came down to that, man. I got the SEC right here at home, so why not?
Right. Yeah. That's I feel like it's a reason for a lot of guys that go SEC, but you know, generally in their home state, it's kind of, boy, you can go SEC, top the most competitive in college, but still not be too far from home. Now, what was your major when you graduated?
Man, football. I'm just playing. Really though, football. But at the same time, sport management. Bro. I manage. I don't like. Yeah, that was my degree, sport management, football.
Now, did you have an idea of what you wanted to do once football ended? Because eventually, even you know, we all know, even in the pros, like football ends at some point. Did you have an idea of what realm you wanted to do post football?
Man, like you know the cliche thing is, oh, my plan A was this and my plan B was this. My I've really only had one plan my whole life, and that was to go to the NFL, and then you know hopefully you know if God's will is the same, you know that creates a platform for me to open doors and to really have the obviously the financial backing to open doors and do what I want to do. And I think I'm kind of in that process right now of really figuring out what it is outside of football that I'm passionate about. I know there's a lot of things that are lucrative and all of that, but man, I've just been trying to take this time and try to learn the question you're asking me, because I mean, for my whole life, like I said, I kind of had and do have all my eggs in one basket. And I know this wasn't really your question, but there's a quote that I heard, man. It was like I said earlier, we were talking about plan A and plan B. How do you we live one life. You know what I'm saying? My whole life is plan A. You feel me? I'm doing this, I'm learning this in this season. So in the next season I'm better because of what I learned in this past season, and it's all plan A. I don't know, man. Without getting too deep, I'm sticking to that and just moving through every day with that mindset. Like, okay, this is plan A. And the same way I study for football, I'm applying that to study for what I'm doing now, man. I don't know if I can say it right now. You ain't asked me yet, so.
Right, we'll get there. We'll get there. Now, I do have a question, kind of staying right here in this general area. What do you think is what is something that you've learned through the college experience and college football? What are one thing from each that you've learned that you think has been the most important to your life now?
College football and then just the college experience. Man, so I'm 20. I'm 28 years old, 29 in November. I think I'm still like figuring that part out too, bro. Like college in itself. I think one of the biggest things that I can take away from college, man, is just that I was blessed enough to be able to walk away with a great group of friends. You know, outside of EBG too. There's 6 of us in EBG, but it's like, and that's our group message for the podcasters, you know, that are listening, for the people that come in and listen. That's our group message, EBG. But man, it's just like I got a good core group of friends. I was actually having this conversation with my mother not too long ago, a few days ago, just to like, you know, just how important that is, man, just to kind of figure out life. Because at the same time, in this group of friends that I'm talking about, that we have, it's like we're all in the same stage of life, but at the same time, we're all in different stages of life. And just being able to talk to each other, and you know, whether that's daily or whatever, however that may be, however it plays out, kind of going like through going through life, everything together, and just seeing like, man, like, okay, this is happening over here. You know, this happened in my life too. How can I learn from Finis to apply it to me? And I think that's one of the biggest things that I took from the college experience, right? Just having the right group of friends around me, people that I can be open to, vulnerable with. We can crack jokes about, like, even we can crack jokes about whatever my current situation is. And for me, that just kind of helps me put my feet on the ground every morning and go. So I would just say, man, picking the right groups of friends, having the right group of people around you, and taking that seriously, man. When people are just showing you, hey, they're not really your friends or not really in your corner, just kind of take that for what it is. It don't have to be no bad blood or animosity, but kind of move on and go find people to help you grow. And then the football side of it, man. All I know is work. Like I had and have a goal and aspirations and a vision of who I wanted to be and how I wanted to get there in my mind, football wise. And I made sure that I put in the extra work. Made sure that I got in with the coaches. Coach Becky still to this day, if I hit him up, he'll draw me up a workout plan, an 8-week workout plan. I just sent it in the group, man. Like,
yeah.
So those little things, just building those connections as well with people that'll help you out with your goals and aspirations, whether that's football. Hey, I want this. I want to work out like this. I want my body comp to be this, and this is my goal. Can you help me get there? Getting the right people around you in that area, and then obviously academic wise too, the gateways in football that we have. Just taking all that stuff seriously, man. Creating a plan and sticking to it. I think that's just the discipline aspect of football kind of helps me with my daily life, man. If I try to live life where it's like I just want to chill and just sit down and not think about nothing, that's usually when I'm the most anxious and have just like no direction in my life. But when I'm disciplined and I sit down and I make a plan, that's ultimately when I end up having the most free time too, because I've gotten things done in an orderly manner. In football, Pat Ivy, they taught us that. So
did they?
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'd be remiss if I didn't ask, because we have a 2-time Super Bowl champion here sitting in front of us. So you run with the Rams. I want you to give me a synopsis, a summary, a Cliff Note version of what that year was like, and then what it's like to be on the stage of the #1 goal for anybody that plays football from a child to professional. If you are football and you want to get at the highest league, you've achieved that twice.
Man.
What was that season like with the LA Rams?
Just a lot like life, man. That season was crazy. Right. You say the Cliff Note version, so I can't get too deep and hit y'all with all the emotions.
Hey, we still got 30 minutes on the clock, so if you want to get deep, you can.
I believe in God, man. I believe in God, and I believe He kind of told me what that year was gonna be like before that year even started. Man, I'm not a numbers guy. I'm not, I'm not one to say that this number affected me in this way, but I was number 86 with the Rams, and that summer I came back home to Kansas City to train like I always do, and just as as the days, weeks, and months go by, man, I'm just seeing 86 a lot, right? Um, at first, it was joking to myself, like, yeah, this is going to be my year. I keep seeing my number, just joking to myself in my car.
Right.
Nobody around, I'm talking to myself. One day, I come out of the subdivision I live in, and I drive down the hill, man. I see this man sitting on the back of a pickup truck. And he's like holding on to this 86-inch TV. I've never in my life seen an 86-inch TV. Not before. I've seen an 85. I've seen a 90. I've seen a 70, a 75, 65. Never seen an 86-inch TV, right? So I just kind of, I remember looking at the brand new TV in the box or whatever. So that's how I knew it was 86 inches. And I'm like, man, like, I remember sitting in the car, I'm like, okay, guys, like, I'm gonna just take this as a sign that you're saying it's my year. Like, this is gonna be my year, right? Up to this point, I had never made a 53-man roster. The initial 53-man roster, I always ended up playing throughout the season, but that initial 53-man right at the camp, I couldn't crack. So I'm like, oh yeah, this is my year, man. So I go into that camp, man. I'm in the greatest shape I've been in. Really, that whole COVID stretch, I was probably in just like elite shape, my final form.
Yeah.
But man, so I go into that camp and I'm balling out. I have probably up to this point my greatest camp as a pro. I'm like, yo, yeah, guy, yeah, you said it, so I'm moving with that confidence. The last day of camp, man, right before we break camp and go back to our homes in LA, I get rolled up on, man, and at the beginning of the practice, and my ankle, like, I finished the practice, but after that day, my ankle blew up, man, like a blowfish, pufferfish. Fast forward, I end up getting cut, right? So I didn't make that 53-man roster. I remember sitting back on the couch. I remember sitting on the floor actually with my foot elevated, icing it, got this machine on it. I'm like, dang, God, I thought you said it was my year. I thought, but maybe I misheard you. Maybe you're talking about next year. So, man, I get emotional thinking about that. But but anyway, man. So fast forward, we're 5 weeks into the season, and one of the tight ends tears his ACL. We're in New York, tears his ACL, and I'm like, not, like, how it goes, man. Like, if somebody gets hurt, especially one of your teammates, and then even more so one that you're close to and that you respect and that you admire, it goes down. It's like mixed emotions. Just being honest, like, damn, like, you hate to see your brother go down, and you know how that goes in football. And then on the other side of that, it's like, okay, this might be an opportunity for me. You know what I'm saying? So,
Right.
So it was kind of that moment where I was torn between those emotions. But we get back, and coming up, we got Detroit, and my number's called, right? So I get into the system, I play some special teams, boom, and this is like I said, week 5. So we're rolling. Fast forward, week 9, I get my first start. Some COVID stuff happens. I get my first start. It was a crazy story. That day, played against Arizona. We had 11 starters out. Arizona had blew us out earlier in the season. I think anywhere from the 14 to 18-point range. Like, they beat us pretty bad.
Mm-hmm.
So we got 11 starters out. This is my first NFL start, and we're at Arizona. It's a big divisional game. We got to win. They
Right.
roll. I think at this point in time, they're 7-1, 7-2. Something along those lines. They hadn't lost a lot of games. They're rolling. Kyler Murray's playing great. We go down there and we handle our business. We play a good game. Odell, Cooper Kupp, all the big names. I played a pretty good game too, man. I played a pretty good game. We won. Then that next week, I started again against Seattle. Same thing. We won. Fast forward, I thought that was gonna, create some traction for me, and I was gonna get some stuff rolling. Didn't work like that, man. I didn't end up playing a lot once the starter came back. Tyler Higbee, my dog, a baller. I was always salute, bro. That's my brother. Came back, I was balling. cool. So I'm playing sparingly here and there as the rest of the season goes on. Last game of the year, we lose to San Francisco, Bay Area, San Francisco 49ers. That was a heartbreaking loss. We went out and had a good party that night. And now the playoffs come, bro, and I'm kind of in the mix a little. We beat Arizona again, knocked them out the playoffs. I'm talking long, but here we're getting to the meat and potatoes of it. Beat Arizona in the playoffs, and now we're going to Tampa Bay to play the Buccaneers and what's supposed to be Tom Brady's last season, right? This is his last season. He came out and said, "Hey, I'm retiring." So, man, we go down there and we get up on him. I score my first NFL touchdown, first touchdown of the game. Came back later, had an 18-yard catch on the sideline, converted for a first down. Man, and then overall, everybody's playing good, bro. But we start turning the ball over. We're up 27-3. Fast forward, fourth quarter, tie game. 27.
Tom Brady do.
Tom Brady, man, that was a crazy game, and sometimes there's not a lot you can do. It's Tom Brady. So, anyways, we happen to have a good quarterback on our side as well, and Matthew Stafford threw it to another decent wide receiver. Nah, it's pretty damn good. Cooper Kupp made a big play, and so we won that game. Now, look, I told you I made some plays in that Buccaneers game. I'm just me being honest. I'm expecting some plays in the biggest game we got of our year. Like, we're 49ers coming up this next week, NFC Championship. We've never beaten them this is my in 3 years of being with the Rams. We never beat them. So my fourth year with them, we're 0-6 against the 49ers. Never beat them. This is game 7. No pun intended, but it ended up being game 7, like an NBA Finals feel, like win or go home, and that's what it was, the game before the Super Bowl. So that week of practice, man, it was like, dang, I'm not getting no tick. Like, I thought I was going to get some tick. Tyler Higbee out there, okay, cool. McVay wants his best players in his mind on the field. I remember just talking to God throughout that week, but, cracking jokes in the locker room, like, man, I'm going to be y'all biggest cheerleader. Like, I ain't playing at all, so I'm going to be waving the towel, like, while y'all out there, go take us to the Super Bowl, right? I remember talking to my teammate on the side. I was like, man, let me stop playing, bro. I remember how I was like, let me stop playing. I know how God works, right? I was like, watch me end up playing 40 plays. Let me stop playing and lock in. So from that day on, I locked into the game plan. Not saying I was not reading the game plan or anything, but I just turned it up a little more. Dialed in. Took my mental reps when Higbee was out there. So anyway, fast forward to the game, NFC Championship. I'm sitting on the sideline. First quarter's going. I remember sitting down on the bench and I was like, God, I just want an opportunity to help my teammates get to the Super Bowl. The next offensive drive, again, one of my dogs goes down, man. Tyler Higbee messes up his knee. No, I was not praying for that, right? I was not praying for somebody to get injured. I was just praying for opportunity. The opportunity came. They throw me out there, and man, I'm like, Higbee, Superman. I'm out here for 2-3 plays. He gonna bounce, you know what I'm saying? He gonna bounce back, whatever, and come back in. First play of the game, line up and Nick Bosa in front of me. We got duo, so we running right at him. Ended up being a good play for me in that area. And then I remember looking to the sideline the whole rest of that drive when we scored. Like, all right, he's gonna come back. He's gonna come back. He never did. We get to the sideline. They're like, Kendall, drink some water. You in for the rest of the game. I ended that game with 5 catches and 57 yards. All of my catches were for first downs. All of them except for one, I think. And not bragging on myself, but just to say, like, this was to this date again the best game that I've had as a pro. And that was to go to the Super Bowl. And I was just like, okay, that's why I told y'all the story that I told y'all about that summer. Like, okay, God, this is what you meant by this is my year, because now I just played in the biggest game of my life. And not only did I get to do that, but I did it on the biggest stage against a team that we had never beaten before. We hadn't beaten them, like I said, in 3 years. And not only to do that, but to go to the Super Bowl. So it all just kind of came together at once.
Right.
And then, I broke, kind of somebody was cutting onions in the stadium after the game. So kind of affected me a little bit. But had my moment with the family. But anyway, man, fast forward, now we in the Super Bowl, and I'm starting in the Super Bowl. After like I said, never making the 53 man, after sitting on the floor crying, thinking like, and God told me it was my year, and here we are in the Super Bowl. I play in the Super Bowl. It's always kind of like a humbling experience for me though, because I broke my shoulder at the end of the third, towards the probably 2 minutes left in the third quarter, broke my shoulder. So I didn't get to finish the game. I played 6 plays on it, hoping it was just like a dislocation. And it ended up being a little worse, but we won that game. And man, it's like I mean, like you said, it's just a crazy experience. Someone will always be able to talk about. I should have brought the rings out to show y'all, but I got them locked away, man. But it was just like I don't know, man. There's so much detail, and with my teammates and with just the guys in the locker room in general, the people that work there, that I could tell y'all about the conversations, the thought processes that went behind it. Just a lot of behind the scenes stuff that people see a Super Bowl team and expect it to be the most gelling and most easy flowing team possible. Like, how else do you win a Super Bowl? But that year was up and down, not just for me, but just for the majority of that LA Rams football team. And we just happened to win the Super Bowl at the end of it. Yeah.
So that's great, man. First of all, congratulations. I know the EBG, we was all, your biggest fans. We love nothing more but to see you succeed. And so after that, some stuff transpires. You end up in Kansas City. And we all know Kansas City is a dynasty. So was the feeling any different? And you don't have to go on like you don't have to go on like super detail this season, but just comparing what that run was with the Rams to the Chiefs, different organization, different coaches, different people, different personalities. Was it up and down as well? Was it more steady? What did you know? Like, oh, we have something here. What was the difference like in Kansas City versus LA?
I mean, I think I've been blessed to play with not only the biggest stars in our game in the NFL, but the greatest players too. And shoot, Aaron Donald, Jalen Ramsey, Matthew Stafford, Cooper Kupp, Andrew Whitworth, like the list goes on. And I know there's people that I'm missing on the Rams. And then walk into the locker room with Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, Chris Jones, like, these names, and then and a monster head coach again, from Sean McVay to Andy Reid. So I've been blessed to be in 2 elite locker rooms around elite players and around in elite systems. The feeling is different, yes, because I wasn't there from the beginning with the Chiefs. With the Rams, we built up 3 years of steam, and I kind of saw it build up, and ultimately we won the Super Bowl. With the Chiefs, I like you said, some stuff transpired. I was with the Chiefs for week 1, and then at the end of week 2, the Rams had picked me back up. So then for 9 weeks, I was there with the Rams, played football with the Rams, and then again, some stuff transpired, and I went back to the Chiefs. So I missed a large portion of that season as well. But for what you walk into that locker room and you see Patrick Mahomes, and then you know how that season ended with his ankle injury and how he played through it and persevered. So seeing that grit, yes, there are ups and downs, and I could say maybe as a collective, I don't know if everybody in that locker room knew that we were going to win the Super Bowl that year. But like, again, when you look at 15 and you look at 87 and you look at the dogs that they had on that defense, and then the coaching staff in general, it's hard to bet against us as the Kansas City Chiefs. So, every team is going to have ups and downs. It makes makes the downs a little bit better when you can look and see, hey, I got arguably, top two greatest quarterbacks of all time.
Right.
Right here on our team, I think we'll be okay. I can bet on 15. So, and you tell me, man, is betting on 15 a bad bet? Like,
it's terrible. Or it's terrible to bet against him.
Yeah, terrible. So
I mean, betting on him he's got the Brady effect. I'm not betting against him.
Yeah, so that's what it was, man. Our ace in the hole, and the Chiefs' ace in the hole, is Patrick Mahomes, and like we're sitting there saying, it wasn't really a surprise at the end of that season. It was just different. I went from starting and won, and like I said, watching the build up, and then kind of being a part of the other one, in a different light. So that's the big differences in those.
Right. Now, I want to get into something that you mentioned and that that you kind of shared with EBG, because people that have listened to the IB Talks Podcast Network understands that I'm very, very passionate about financial literacy, financial freedom, starting businesses, kind of taking your finances into your own hands as much as possible. I still work a regular job, but so you say you started in a real estate investing group. I don't know how much you can tell and what you can, but just what inspired, you kind of talked on it a little bit, but is it based in Kansas City? What kind of inspired you, and what led to you working with the group of guys you're working with? Because obviously that's something you got to work with people that you trust. You talk about building something like that.
Man, just kind of what I alluded to earlier. Just having a great group of friends. I've been blessed with every stage of my life, high school, college, and the professional level. I've been able to be around a large group of people, playing on football teams, and then from that large group of people coming down with my circle. And each of those groups have been, these, in my opinion, have been lifelong friends. So high school is no different, man. I met some guys in high school that I rock with and continue to have communication with daily, have a few Bible studies with as well. And, just sitting back and, like I said, hearing those, actually pouring into those people and those people pouring into me. I know what they're doing. I know what their jobs are like. I hear about their ups and downs. And also what's inspiring about what they're doing in their daily lives, and also the financial freedom that some of them have because of the work that they put behind their dreams. So, man, just with that, man, and talking to my group, and then obviously being in the NFL, gaining some capital and trying to be smart with my money, trying to figure out what to do with that money. So just talking to my high school guys, man, like Lonnie DeBart is a guy, and I'm name dropping, but who's been kind of doing this real estate business and started flipping houses and stuff a few years back, and now he's graduated on to the commercial real estate side, which is amazing. So just having him in the spaces that we're in now, having him have kind of laying the groundwork, meaning like he's been there before, man. He's made the mistakes, so we're kind of going in this with a good mentor that can lead the way. And so once, sitting down and talking logistics and saying, hey, like, I always weigh my risk and pros and cons. And there are a lot of pros in this because of, again, the support system that I have. So me and a guy named Kevin Purrier, who played basketball at Mizzou, I played basketball with in high school. We went to the same high school from Kansas City. We decided just to make 104 investments, man, and start this house flipping thing for ourselves because of the, just, like I said earlier, it's a very lucrative business. And I mean, it's not something that I have to take off of anybody else's plate. There's enough out there for all of us, and I like that idea about it. Like, I don't have to go take from anybody else. I can just go work for what is there for us as a business, and
right,
best for us. So.
And then what do you see this like 10 years down the road? Like, are you wanting to stay residential, are you seeing you probably, what's the end game? Or like, where could you see this probably expanding or growing to down the road?
Man, I just pray that God, keeps opening doors for us, man. My end game, uh, I have a lot of end games in mind. Like I said, this always kind of been my plan, putting all my eggs in one basket. I have an end game in mind. I want 10 streams of income, man. However that looks, I want this investment group to be. Yes, this is our business, me and my partner, but I want this to be something that, hey, we have other people running eventually down the line, and we're the bosses. Y'all call us when everything's going downhill, but if not, don't call us at all. So I want to have 10 streams of income. One of my end games is to I went to Tampa for the business combine with Pac and those guys, and they taught me about something called triple net leasing. And what that is just, just Cliff Notes version is, man, Starbucks, Bank of America's, just places, these large franchises with billions of dollars invested that don't own their buildings that they stay in. They lease these buildings and they pay rent to the people that own them. Well, as they lease those buildings, Starbucks has to pay for the taxes, the insurance. If a window breaks, Starbucks fixes it. So essentially, they just would pay me the rent, which is mailbox money. So my goal is to hopefully own however many Starbucks I can own,
Right.
or whatever franchise I can own, Dollar Tree, Dollar General, whatever it is that I can own, Walgreens, these buildings that I can own. Hey, to where I got these good credit corporations just sending me mailbox money.
Right.
And then at the end of the day, what that will do is create an avenue for me to be able to give back. Because at the end of the day, yes, money is a goal, but money isn't necessarily what I'm chasing and what I'm passionate about. My passion is to be able to open doors and create avenues for people to have success and be successful. And I believe that I have to have some cash flow to do that. So that's why I'm chasing this money and these streams of income, so that I can pursue my real passion, which is helping people and doing what I can in that light. So that's my end game.
This sounds like a fantastic end game, I'll tell you that. And Godspeed on you, your journey with your partners and mentors and all of that good stuff. Because yes, many blessings on that. Before we wrap it up, I always like to ask this question. Give me 3 pieces of advice that you would give to somebody that's listening or watching this that is very, very crucial or very important to you in your life right now.
Give 3. So ask me that question one more time, please.
Give me 3 pieces of advice that you are currently living by.
Man, like I keep saying, man, I believe in God. So just having faith in that area. I believe I know I can't do anything without that, or having roots in that, and having everything that I do be rooted in that. Now I stray away and I fail a lot, but that's definitely one that I try to wake up and live by every day. And then 2, man, just having a good support system, finding good people, and then on the other side of that, not being afraid to kind of close the doors on some people that aren't necessarily pouring into you, or feeding into areas that you need growth in. So that having a good support system, good people around you, and then 3, man, just waking up every day with a purpose. I said, I read a good book called The Ruthless Elimination of Hurry by John Cromer. And man, it's just like, just creating discipline in my life ends up giving me the most freedom. Putting things in my schedule to get done, having tasks to get done gives me the most freedom, because once those things are done, now I have time to go do what I want to do. So just creating a calendar that keeps me, that helps organize discipline, and then being disciplined and getting those tasks done. So those 3 things, man, just that's what I'm trying to live by in this year of 2024. Oh yeah, and the word of the year for me is discipline. So just in that aspect, I'm trying to find ways each month of this year to just be more disciplined in an area. So those three things is what I would say to anybody listening.
Well, y'all heard it here. Mr. Kendall Blanton, again, I appreciate you for coming on, Brody. And much love, too. I appreciate the opportunity I got to build this bond and connection with you 10 years ago, man.
Man, 10 years ago, God is good. We're going to have to get on here one day and tell stories and kiki about all the stuff we've done over the 10 years, man. We're going to have to do that.
Hey, I'm down. We might get canceled, but that's fine. I'm down.
Cancel culture will create a new podcast.
Right. We'll be up. All right. I appreciate it.
All right.
Thank you guys for listening. Subscribe, like, comment. Mr. Kendall Blanton. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm gonna chase my dreams, my life.